Hello, and I'm here to show another mask that Hype kindly sent me. This is the Briz 4303. And basically what this mask is essentially is the PMK2 as far as I'm aware, but designed to take NATO filters, which again is good because, you know, it's nice to actually get some Russian masks where we can find filters easily for them in the West. So what this mask is basically is a better version of the PMK2. Now, one of the main improvements, like the other PPM88 I showed, is that it's actually got proper straps. Now, there's still one massive flaw with it. Even with the better straps, even with a better face seal, no oral nasal cup. So it still fogs up. So again, you're going to have to put anti-fog inserts in it of some kind because, you know, what would be really, really good is if this actually had an oral nasal cup. Now, you can see that they've kind of designed it. I think so your nose is meant to go into that bit, but it doesn't really work, you know, because there's not the valve system and it doesn't make a very good seal to your nose and sort of cheeks. You know, they still fog up pretty easily. But anyway, let's show you the interesting bit. So we'll get this Draeger filter again, which I used in the video the other day to show that the modern PPM88, that was actually NATO. So let's screw this filter in. And there we go. So that's in there. So we'll get the mask. Get that over my head. Push that in and tighten the straps up. And there we are, it's on. As you can see, it seems to be pressurising, but let's get the banana oil and actually check that. But as you can also see, unfortunately, it is starting to steam up because, you know, yeah, I can't smell that banana oil, so yeah, this does accept NATO filters, which is cool, which I guess is why it has that chunkier looking thing sticking out of it. But yeah, unfortunately, as said, it still fogs up quite horribly because no proper oral nasal cup. If it was like that, it wouldn't be as bad, but there's still quite a gap between my nose, you know, and here. It would need to be in kind of that tight to negate that. So it's not all that uncomfortable. This is definitely my favourite PMK style mask. It's got a good voice diaphragm like all the PMK series and GP7s do. But despite the fact that, you know, it's got all these improvements, the lack of an oral nasal cup really let it down because, again, it still fogs up really quickly. It's also, you know, kind of a weird shaped mask because I guess of the design feature of you can swap the filters around and everything. So it's kind of a bit chunky in areas it doesn't need to be. And again, it's kind of got that PMG1 vibe going on, where the filter seems to weigh too much on the side of the mask due to the design. It's got the directional sort of exhale sort of valve design there, which I like, and again you can unscrew that if you wanted to and just have the valve directly out there, but the deflector sort of system is quite nice to have on there. You know, just have it pointing down and it's not going to accidentally fog any of your stuff up. It's got a drinking tube which I've not tested, but I assume it's going to be the standard Russian copy of the American drinking tube system. Yes, it is. So, here we go. This is, I've already forgotten the number of it, was it the Briz 4303? But basically, it's a PMK2, sort of PMK series mask that can take NATO filters and has a better strap system, but still lacks an oral nasal cup. So there you go, this is actually a quite cool mask. I definitely recommend this over the regular PMK1 and GP7. You know, just because of the fact it can take NATO filters, which is a massive plus for a lot of people, and it's got a good strap system, or at least an acceptable strap system. You know, it's not the most comfortable straps, but at least they're not a pain in the arse to, you know, tighten or loosen while it's on your head like the GP7 and PMK1 is. So overall, it's a cool mask design, I like it, but, you know, if they had put an oral nasal cup in it, it would actually been really good. The issue is they didn't. So you've still got something which, you know, is a bit subpar. And again, it'd been better if the, you know, like filter adapter thing was more compact into the mask, because at the moment, obviously, as you can probably see, it sticks out quite a bit, which means the filter's probably going to get caught on things. But overall, yeah, it's pretty cool. This one was manufactured in 2012, apparently. If we look at least the date that they put on the straps, as you can see, black straps like this are a massive dandruff magnet. But if you look at that and it will focus, you can hopefully see it says 12 on there. So yeah, made in 2012, at least that bit of it. It actually says 14 on the inside of the mask, so that's 2014. So yeah, it's not all that old. As I said, I do like this. It's just a real shame that they didn't put an oral nasal cup in it, because if they did that, it would actually be a lot more usable. But when you have a mask where you have to put anti-fog inserts in it, or some sort of anti-fogging sort of dimming paste on the inside, that does massively, in my view at least, negate from the good bits of the mask, because you're having to go to extra lengths to stop it steaming up. The good thing was, at least with the earlier Soviet masks, things like the Shum series and the Shums, all of those type, they had a good Tissot system that meant even without anti-fog inserts in there, at least every time you breathed in, it would clear the lenses quite well. The problem is with the PMK sort of style series masks, is there's no real sort of deflection going up to actually cause defogging to happen while you're wearing the mask. So you've got that issue of there is air coming in, but it's not really hitting the lenses very well to actually defog them. So you've not really got a Tissot system combined with no oral nasal cup, which is a disaster. That's like World War II tier masks of fogging up. But there you go. It is quite nice for what it is. I definitely recommend it, as I said, over the regular PMK and GP7. But it still lacks an oral nasal cup, which is a bit of a killer for me, if you were spending quite a bit on this. Especially if you had the choice between that and the PPM 88 that was modernised. I'd definitely go for this, just because of the fact that this has an oral nasal cup. So, as much as the voice diaphragm's a bit more primitive in this and everything else, it at least doesn't fog up while you're wearing it, which is a big advantage to me.